Welcome back. So we're gonna check out now the mirror lookup operation. Some of you may be familiar with this, some of you may not. So I'm just gonna explain it. The RZ67 Pro II, with this camera, is possible to minor the position, to lock the mirror on up to position beforehand. So. And on the instant that you want to take the shot, you can just release the shutter without using the mirror moving up location. So when you take a photo, what happens is that this mirror that is right now, it's up actually. There we go. I put the mirror down. Now the mirror would be able to send the image to the top of the camera right here, so you can see it through it. You can adjust your focus and everything. You set it up, and when you're ready to shoot, what happens really slow motion is that this mirror that is down here lifts up right there. Well, first of all, it closes this, so it closes everything. Then it lifts up the mirror. Then it opens just the center or your desired aperture for the time that you set it up, and then it closes down, and the mirror remains up here. So this moving of lifting up the mirror sometimes, because it's so fast, and that's the usual sound of DSLRs and everything, is the clack clack clack. It's what it causes, very minuscule vibration that usually is not a problem unless you're shooting if you're shooting macro. If you're shooting something like it's really close, like really close to the lens, and it's like so big with macro, and then you shoot like that, and then any slight movement would be just magnified incredibly. Or also, if you're shooting telephoto, you're shooting something from extremely far away, and you're very rarely focusing, and you touch it, and it will be a small vibration that means a whole lot of movement on the background if you're shooting something from very far, with a telephoto lens. Also, there is a slight delay between the moment you press the button, the shutter, and the moment that actually you get the shot. So if you're waiting for something that go like 3, 2, 1, and then you think it's just by counting and eyeballing, like, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then you get the shot at 3. You're not actually getting it. You're getting it a little more than 3. I'm not sure exactly about how long does it take to lift this and expose it. It's pretty fast though, but it's not exactly when you push the button like this. It still has to move up the mirror, and it still has to close the leaves and open the other one until you get the exposure. So if you want to capture something right at the moment, like you're just waiting for something that happens like very fast, just an instant read, you can lift up the mirror before and just be ready just to open your exposure at the moment where you need it. So it will be like 3, 2, 1, and you press this, and it will be like immediately taking the shot instead of waiting for the mirror to come up. I mean, it's not slow. I mean, here you go. I'm gonna shoot it, and you can see that right now I'm doing like around 4 seconds. Let me just do it like probably like 2 seconds, so you can see what I'm talking about. It's obviously pretty fast, but you can see how it closed it and then open it, right? You can see I'm pressing like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. You see how it closes and then opens it. So and then you hear the sound of the mirror. I really don't feel any vibrations of this camera. Somebody did a test where they put a coin up here, and they were like shooting like this, and it was on a tripod, and the coin would remain completely still, and it was not even moving. So yeah, vibrations are very minimal, but if it's an extreme macro or something, or you need that precision in the time when you want to shoot, it's a good thing to shoot with the mirror lookup. Now, okay, let's see how this is done. This is also worked out in the lens. So no matter the speed, obviously, because all we need to do is just lift up this. So we're gonna cramp the mirror down we're setting the mirror all the way down, and again, we're doing a multiple exposure mode, and we took out the dark screen just so we can actually be able to shoot without spending any film right now. Alright, so we're gonna be using this little guy over here. Alright, so this is the mirror lookup socket. on the lens, and all the lenses would have this, and it really doesn't have any other markings than that. And I hope you guys can see it really close there. So what you need to do is to slide something there. So we need to have that cable release. So it's one of these guys, you know, just a cable release. It can be other types of cable releases, but this one, it will be fine. Now this one, you need to screw it in there, and at the moment that you screw it in there, there will be a little red sign, red line that would pop out. So the screw hole that is in here, when you screw the cable release, the screw hole, the little metallic piece will come out, and it will display a red line that is around it, which means it will be ready to do the mirror lockup. So I'm going to show you right now. That's before. You see it's actually very settled in there. And if I try to screw this, and I hope I can just do it one hand, I'm not sure. There we go. You can see I screw it in, and now you can probably see the red line in there. So it did come out, and you can see a red line. So what's going to happen? I'm clearing this down. When I shoot over here, and you shoot with this trigger, of course, I have another release, of course, for the actual mirror lockup. So when you shoot, you see the lens is completely shut down, and this will be my trigger now. So right now, at this moment, the mirror is in the upper position, is letting anything pass, but just the lens is closing all the light. So the lens is closing the light. So when I want to shoot, all you need to do is just press the trigger over here, that is connected over here, and you can see the exposure immediately happens. And then it closes, of course, because I finished the exposure. I'm going to put it probably a little bit longer, maybe around 3 seconds. Put it down there. So I trigger with this, and that didn't happen as I thought. There you go. Alright, so what happened right now is it kind of took the shot, right? I do this, and it's actually taking the shoot, but I want my mirror lockup. So what happened over here is, and you gotta be careful with all this stuff. This thing that I actually have it still screwed in. Just because I was moving the cable actually spin the whole thing, and it put in the. You see, it doesn't have the red line. So you need to, before you're shooting, you need to make sure that this is popped out, and you can see the red line of the. You guys see it? Let's see if I focus in there. See, there's the red line. So what happened is the cable move a little bit, and you don't see a red line anymore. So well, that's a normal operation mode. So I push it, just screw it back like this, and make sure the red line is out. When the red line is out, you can crank this up. You can shoot it with this button, and you can see it's completely sealed until you press this the trigger button over here, and you do this, and it's immediately right there, opening exposure. So that will be it. Now, there could be a couple of issues with this thing. Let's say I want to take it out. While I have the exposure being done, I have this. It's right now it's closed, and I want to take out this cable. I can do that, but immediately after I taking it out, it means that it releases it, so it will immediately start to do the exposure. Also, another thing, if by any chance you put it down and you manage to take it out without getting the red line in, then every time you shoot, your lens would remain shut. Well, not at this moment, but your lens would remain like this, and you cannot get any shots, and you don't know what's going on. So that could be another issue that you can check. If this thing, maybe you play with it a little bit or something, and you left it out and it shows the red line, then that means that it's on what is it called, a mirror lockup operation mode. So you have to like maybe screw it again, put it out, put it in. Just make sure that this is all the way in, and then you will be ready. Now, as you can see, I just put a cable release in here. The same cable release can go here. So there is actually an item that they sell that is called a double cable release. and you can buy it in many camera stores and stuff like that. So basically, it's just two two buttons like this that manage two cable releases, and you put one here, you put the other here. So once you crank it up, you can put up the mirror with one and take the picture with the other button, and that's actually useful if if that will be your shooting style. And I guess that is pretty much all for this socket. I mean, it's a good feature, and it's also a feature that has the camera that if you own one of these cameras or thinking to own one of these cameras, you can play with that and make sure that you get the shots that you want and be comfortable shooting with using at least the most of what you can get out of this type of cameras. All right, so see you next video.